Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Eldercare's weekly webinar series. I am Adrienne, and I have special guest with me, Lance with Woodmen. We are so excited to have you back on the webinar. And so thank you so much for taking the time to come back and visit us. I know sometimes we have a lot of repeat topics, but that's really important because we have a lot of new agents, or maybe because you have so many products in your briefcase, you're forgetting why you have Woodmen. So we are here to explain what makes Woodmen stand out, and just a few housekeeping things before I pass it over to you, Lance. We always want this to be a conversation. So please find the Q&A box or the comment box. Tell us good morning. Let us know that you can hear, see everything. Let us know everything is working smoothly. And any questions that you have, please ask them. I mean, Lance is going to be the best person to ask any Woodmen questions. And then I believe Lance is even coming to our conference, right, Lance?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yes. So if you are coming to the conference, look forward to meeting him. He'll be doing classes on this as well. And if you're not already signed up for the conference, I think there's a few spots left. We're almost sold out. So if you are on the fence about going, you better book it now because we are almost sold out. But I see some good mornings, looks and sounds good. So we are ready to rock and roll, Lance. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Adrienne. I'm really happy to be back talking with all of you. It's been a busy summer. I was just thinking, where did this summer go? Right. I mean, just visiting a lot of individuals like yourself over the last few weeks, and everybody is really gearing up to. It's going to be a very busy AEP, right? Probably this year more than a number of years. So it's exciting and terrifying at the same time. But I'm happy to be telling you a little bit about WoodmenLife. I have 4 children, and I know, and some of you obviously have children as well, and sometimes you have to tell your child more than once something, right? And part of me says, sometimes when a new carrier comes into the market space that you're not familiar with, it's good to hear, to your point, Adrienne, hearing it twice, hearing it 3 times of where it's like, oh yeah, that's starting to make sense. I see a talking point there. So
I
uh,
call those light bulb moments.
light bulb moments. Yes, yes. And speaking of light bulb moments, that's a great segue, by the way. We didn't even practice that. I was actually reading a study by McKinsey just recently where they were looking into what consumers want, right? And I mean, I was going to say $1 trillion question, might be $1 gazillion question, but we always, whether it's senior health products or toothpaste or buying cars, we always are looking at what drives consumers. What do consumers really want? What do we want, right? We're all consumers.
Mhm.
And a couple of them are the same ones since the beginning of time. The first one is price, and I say slash value. And the reason I kind of say slash value is, look, most of us, I should say, are looking to get a deal, right? Where we're
Mhm.
looking to pay a lesser price if we can. But I also always add the value to that, in that we are willing to pay more. Some people a little bit, some people a lot to get perceived value, right? I always make the joke when I'm in a room virtually or in a physical room with people. It's like, oh, show of hands, how many people buy the cheapest toilet paper, right? And it's a little joke, and I'm like, no, don't raise your hands. It's a my kids call it a dad joke, but frankly, the point there is, we're always willing to pay a little bit more if we see value. The second thing is ease of doing business. How simple is it? I like to use, and again, most gas stations now have the pay at the pump, but you go back, I'm a little bit older, you go back maybe 10 years, not every gas station had, the easy pay at the pump, where you pull your phone out or you stick your card in, you pump your gas and you leave. We all want easy, and a gallon of gas usually is about the same price, and it's this gas station or the one right down the street. But if it's easier to get my gas where I don't have to go inside, if I don't need that extra energy drink, I can just pump my gas and go, I'm probably going to go there. So consumers do want that ease of doing business. The third one, and this is one that's really kind of risen to the top three. It's always been in the top 10, but the top three of what consumers want, especially post COVID, is experience. And consumers are looking for an experience that makes them feel good. Now, I'm not talking about jumping out of an airplane, when they buy some toothpaste, nothing that extreme. What I mean by that, and what I've read into that with the McKinsey study, is that they're looking to feel good about what they're buying. If they're buying, there's a great. Some of you may have heard of Bombas socks, and I'm not getting a kickback from them, I promise. But their marketing strategy is: look, every time you buy a pair of socks from us, we're going to send a pair of socks out into a homeless shelter, or somewhere in the community where somebody maybe that can't buy socks are now going to have a good clean pair of socks. It's a feel good, right? It's like, look,
Mhm.
I'm getting a good quality product, I'm buying something, but also I'm helping somebody. And so, I really found that interesting, maybe selfishly, because, I've been at WoodmenLife about 2 years now, working for a fraternal benefit company. I've worked for big stock companies. I actually worked for a mutual company before coming here. And it really is interesting. I'm now working for a fraternal company when it is truly a not for profit organization that really was created to give money back into the communities where these products are being sold. So that's the one thing that I've really been focusing on when I've been going out, and what I'll focus on if you stop by my booth in a few weeks at the Eldercare event is look, product is product. You have to have a good product. You have to have a good price and value, right?
Mhm.
You have to have an ease of doing business, and I think we have that as well. I'll mention a few things just briefly here, but I think the feel good, the experience, knowing that every dollar of premium that one of your clients sends us for a MedSup product, a part of that is going back into their communities where they live, not going, East Coast, West Coast. It's going right to where the communities they live. If you go to woodmenlife.org, you can type in your own zip code at the top of our website, and you're going to see all the different chapters we have in your area. So when your client buys a MedSup, there's no red, hoops or red tape they have to jump through to become a member. They're simply a member when they buy a MedSup from us. And from there, even if they never want to participate in anything else of volunteering or go to the chapter meetings, they don't have to do any of that. They can be involved as much as they want or not at all. But they can also rest assured that every time they have that EFT come to Woodman of $100 for their Plan G, a monthly premium. Some of that's going back to help fix the playgrounds and build the ball fields and beautification projects for the VFW or the cemetery, whatever it may be. The members of those chapters decide where the money is spent. So again, it's a very cool thing to discuss and talk about. And consumers, they're looking for those things. They're looking for some type of experience along with price, along with ease of doing business. So, I've got a few slides I just want to briefly go through because, again, my biggest thing is when I'm talking with all of you is, hey, Lance, it sounds good, but my question is, who is WoodmenLife? I was right there with you a little over 2 years ago. I was working in an organization I was happy at, but WoodmenLife called me and said, hey, we've got a wonderful opportunity. We'd like you to help us build something special. And I said the same thing. Hey, that sounds good, but who are you? Right. And I've been
Yeah.
doing this for almost 30 years. So I get that. And the first step is to get all of you on this call feeling good about who WoodmenLife is so that you can in turn instill that education and passion to your consumers, your clients. Medicare supplement, right? I mean, we all know this, and I'll say this 1,000 times, but a Plan G is a Plan G, right?
Mhm.
I live in the great state of Iowa. Big Hawkeye fan. I'm so excited about football season coming up here in a few weeks. In my great state of Iowa, there's approximately 40 carriers offering Medicare supplement plans to the constituents of Iowa. And we all know from a commoditization standpoint, A plan G is a plan G, right? From a benefit standpoint. As you can see on the screen, I always think of it as like a cereal aisle. I walk down my local supermarket and there's 800 boxes of cornflakes. It's like, what cornflakes do I buy? When I was a kid, it was like easy. I would just get the sugary stuff and whatever had the cool toy. That's what I went with. But as I try to start to adult a little bit as I get older, really what is going to drive me to buy the right one? And all of you've got some great carriers you can work with, right? That offer great Medicare supplement plans. So what do you, how do you choose? What do you decide to promote? And it's similar to a consumer, right? Some of these bullet points are really kind of the same thing. Price. Well, as a consumer, as a producer like yourself, you're looking, obviously, if you want to be in the game with a med sup, you have to have a competitive price. Uh, and we do with WoodmenLife. The one thing I'll say about our rate philosophy is we are not trying to be that really red hot rate, $5, $10 cheaper than everybody else. And then in 12 to 18 months, we're gone, right? We've seen that story before. We've seen that game where we've had carriers come in with a hot rate and then they're here today, gone tomorrow. We are absolutely not looking to play that game. So our rates, I would say, are priced correctly. True. In some states, we may be the top. In my state of Iowa, just ironically, we are the best rate for a Plan G in most of our zip codes. In other states, we may be $5 off the leader or $7 off the leader. But
Mhm.
I'm here to tell you that's not that's not concerning us. We want to make sure that rate is true, and when we have to make rate increases, we're not having these aggressive high jumps where they're not going to call me, they're going to call you. The client's going to call you, and you're going to have egg on your face, and you'll be mad at me, and I don't want that. So I always like to point that out, that we want to be here for a long time, not just a good time. You got to have compensation, of course, and we have competitive compensation. You can see that through your schedules that you can get through Eldercare. The biggest thing too, I know everybody tells me this. I've been in this business a long time. Ease of doing business. There have been carriers, whether it's med sup or life insurance or annuities, that have had great rates, right? I
Mhm.
can think of a carrier, and I won't name their name, this is a while back, but they had great term insurance rates. I mean, just dirt cheap. You just couldn't beat them. The problem was it took them months to get those term products underwritten and issued so that you could get a policy back to your client and get paid. So sometimes things are too good to be true, and so I'm here to tell you that we do have with WoodmenLife a wonderful ease of doing business in regards to our e-app. We're using the CSG electronic application where you can go out and quote one of our rates. If you like what you see, there's a button right at the bottom that says apply now. So you don't have to go to any other agent portal or log in. You just click that button. It's a seamless sign on and it takes you right to where you can sign up our e-app and away we go.
Yes, and we definitely appreciate Woodmen participating in that. It makes it a lot easier for our agents to just log into Medicare Center and write the product.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, it's important to have company strength. You don't want to be talking about a carrier that maybe doesn't have that strength or those ratings. But, I may be biased. I'm absolutely biased, to be honest. But having something else to talk about besides most of those upper bullet points, because I would be, remiss to say most of our med sub carriers today, they're good carriers. It's good competition. The price, we're all huddled around about the same place. We're all offering about the same compensation. Ease of doing business can vary a little bit, rating structure, but having something else to talk about besides that plan G rate, I think is really, really important. I talked about experience. I talked about, giving back to the community. We're all storytellers. Adrian and I are storytellers in our positions, but all of you on this call, we know are storytellers with your clients. It's not just pushing a product, it's telling stories and having good conversations with individuals out in the marketplace. People ask me, well, who is WoodmenLife? The first thing I always say is, we're not Modern Woodmen. Sometimes I get confused with that. Modern Woodmen is a great organization. They're also a fraternal benefit, but we are actually a separate entity. We are in Omaha, Nebraska. A lot of people haven't heard about us. And the reason being, as you can see on the screen, is we've been doing a career agent distribution model for those 134 years. We have approximately 1,000 career reps, mostly based in the Southeast. So some of you on this call that are based out of the Texas or the South, or even going up into the Carolinas, you may have heard of WoodmenLife because we do have physical structures in different towns. We have agents there that are, we have a number of individuals that are buying life and annuity products. But from an independent agent standpoint, where most of us have lived for our careers, we've never seen WoodmenLife. This is the first product. They hired me to essentially build new product and get into an independent agent channel. And we've done that with this product. As you can see, we've got a lot of home office employees. So it's a big group. I always like to joke, we're not working out of somebody's garage. We didn't start last year. This is truly something where it's a sleeping giant, and it's up to me to wake up that giant along with Adrian and all of your help to get WoodmenLife more of a household name. We have a wonderful skyscraper, as you can see in that little picture. We're in Omaha, Nebraska. Beautiful view. So we are a real deal. We talk about ratings, and a lot of times ratings are important. For some people, maybe they're not. Others, it's paramount, right? So having, I think we're very proud of this. We've been A+ rated for 48 straight years.
What?
We even have, as you can see, a Better Business Bureau rating, right? I've never seen a lot of carriers that have Better Business Bureau ratings. So we also have that, which I think is kind of a cool thing. We're also not, again, I go back to that garage analogy. This is not a startup. This is not something where we just got out of the gate. We have a ton of members, policyholders that have our products. As you can see, we're north of 11 billion of assets, almost 2 billion of surplus. So again, the only reason I put this slide up, every wholesaler at the home office, we always have to have an obligatory, right, number slide. I do think it's important, though, with this discussion, right? When you're talking about who is WoodmenLife, how long they've been around. Are they highly rated? I mean, do they have that financial strength to pay the claims? And really, I just want to show all of you that, yes, we check all of those boxes. Long-standing, over 100 years, A+ rated, billions of dollars of surplus and assets. We are a real insurance company. The only thing is we've just not been working with all of you, with independent agents ever before. So this is the exciting thing that we're doing this now. I mentioned this is the experience part. We are a fraternal organization. And when I started, I was like, is there a secret handshake? What is there, like some pagan ritual I have to go through? What does a fraternal organization really mean, right?
This is my favorite slide.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, again, I've had a chance to work for some different insurance carriers that were big stock companies or maybe employee owned or mutual. Nothing against any of those. I just love the thought that we are not here to, grow profits and make a CEO have a $30 million bonus at the end of the year. It's all about country and county, excuse me, not county, country. Well, some counties, community, fighting hunger, patriotism. We give out more U.S. flags than any other entity besides the U.S. government. We're doing volunteer projects all across the country. We collected over 600 pounds of food for food banks last year. It's a feel-good story. Now, again, this is not a cult. When you buy a Supp from us, yes, you are automatically a member, but you don't have to, go to any volunteer projects. You don't have to volunteer. That's just if you want to. I think about my mom and dad. They're in their mid 70s. They're looking for activities. They're looking for social opportunities. So they love to be able to go to these chapter meetings and decide where the money is spent. They like to go to the grade school in their town and help fix up, maybe do a new landscaping project for the elementary school. Takes a half a day, and then they go get coffee with the rest of the people. It's a cool thing. It's not for everybody, but again, it goes back to that experience and the story that the consumers are looking for. They want to feel good about their purchase. Another thing, I mentioned this earlier, having other things to talk about besides the Plan G rate. Now, some of you have worked with fraternal companies before. We're not the only fraternal company, right? I mentioned Modern Woodmen, Foresters, Royal Neighbors, just to name a few off the top of my head. Same type of situation. I love that we have the ability to not only give them a great Med Supp product, but also give them member benefits and discounts. Now, I just named a few on here on the slide. There's more that we can get you information on. But some of these, for example, Law Assure, you think about people buying a Med Supp. If they're like my mom and dad, they procrastinate a little bit. Maybe they haven't got their healthcare directives set up. Maybe they don't have, maybe a will, or they're looking at a trust. Law Assure, we foot the bill. They go online, they put in their code, and now they can actually get these templates to help them build wills and trusts, healthcare directives. They actually added something just this year that helps build their obituary. It's a little creepy, right? I get it, but at least you get to decide what is put in your obituary. You leave it
Yeah.
up to your kids. Well, hey, you leave it up to your kids, right? So I'll just leave it at that. So it's a wonderful thing that we have free of charge, right? You get this when you buy a MedSup product. There's also a Life Perks discount program. This is something really cool. I'm actually a member. I bought a life insurance policy from WoodmenLife. I downloaded this to my phone. Right away, it knows I'm in Coralville, Iowa. It says, hey, the Costco down the street, I can get you a little, cheaper membership, or my Verizon bill is a little bit cheaper. So just little things like that, having a discounts program, having Law Assure, and then maybe on a serious thing, natural disaster benefit. There's floods, there's hurricanes, in the Midwest, there's tornadoes. Sometimes bad things happen. If you're a member of WoodmenLife, this is not something you have to like file a claim on or anything. It's essentially you're calling us and saying, look, my house got hit. It's not something you're paying for. We're just giving you a little extra money to help pay for the rental car if your car got destroyed, or help pay for the roof, or pay for the hotels while maybe you're out of your house for a while. It's a great benefit. It's additional. It's more, it's a little bit of extra, sizzle with that steak of getting a great MedSup product. And I love it. Going back to the storyteller standpoint, is we have something else to talk about besides what that Plan G rate is. Product's product. I just like to mention a couple of things here about the WoodmenLife MedSup product. We do have a 10% household discount. And I say that, I put in parentheses, it's cohabitation in most states. So you don't have to sell two policies when you're in the home. If they're living with a person, living with a roommate, they're going to get the 10% discount. We talked about the CSG integration earlier. That is working so well. One thing, and I'm skipping over the competitive rates because we talked about that too. We are actually using Mutual of Omaha as our back office. Now, Mutual doesn't own us. We don't own them. The only relationship we have is that I'm paying them to be the underwriting and the new business and the policy owner service for this MedSup product.
Mhm.
And why that's important for all of you on the phone. If you're familiar with Mutual of Omaha, and again, we all know they've been doing it a long time. Over 60 plus years they've been in the MedSup business. They've got a wonderful underwriting, this auto decisioning tool that we utilize. So when you push that button to submit the CSGE app to WoodmenLife, it's going through that underwriting decisioning tool. Right now, this is since the first of the year, but as of the first of the year, 73% of all underwritten apps are getting instant decision, auto issued same day. Okay.
Wow.
That's a big deal. As we're getting into annual enrollment, we know everybody gets busier. Carriers, 65% of our total year's business usually comes in as an industry during AAP for MedSup. So we know, and we probably all have stories of carriers kind of getting backed up, right? Kind of, okay, we got a lot to do here. Having instant decisioning helps the machine move faster. So you're going to get those policies returned faster and get paid faster. It's working extremely well. If you're used to the agent portal for Mutual Omaha, SPA, Sales Professional Access, guess what? It's the same portal. So you don't have to learn a new portal. Most of you are familiar with CSG. To quote, you push one button to apply. You utilize the Sales Professional Access. If you're familiar with their underwriting philosophies, it's the same underwriting philosophy. So we've had this since August of last year. It has worked extremely well. We're very happy with the results. Uh, very quickly, some of you are on the phone in different parts of the country. We are in 25 states today. The only change here is Oregon. If we have anybody on the phone from Oregon, that should be blue. We actually went live with Oregon. I need to get a new slide here, but that's blue as of about 30 days ago. So as you can see, we're very heavily in the south, southeast. We are looking to add more states. So the states that you see that are in dark gray, those are not never. That's just we haven't launched them or rolled them out yet. So more to follow. But if you're any of those states in the blue, we are open for business, and we're happy to get some business for you. And speaking of business, there's a lot of great carriers out there. I mean, you have, as an independent agent, you have a lot of options to choose from, which is good. Friendly competition is good.
Mhm.
I like to give you a test drive. I mean, I'd like you to give me a test drive, excuse me. And to do that, we'd like to, offer you an app bonus incentive. I do think, just over my years, I think it's really important to at least give a carrier, 5 or so apps to see how their process works. So if you write 5 apps in a month with WoodmenLife, every one of those that's underwritten, as you can see on the screen, we're going to give you an extra $150 for each underwritten app. So if you write 5 underwritten apps, we're going to give you 5 times 150. If you write 4, let's say open enrollment apps and 1 underwritten app, that's 5. We'll pay you 150 because one of them was underwritten. In South Carolina, we've got a little bit different, deal just because their state looks at these bonus plans a little differently. So as you can see, we do the $40 per app, but you do get it for each and every app. So in addition to that, so you can actually get both. I told you earlier, we actually do, and we give out, more flags, U.S. flags, than any other entity besides the U.S. government. We take that very seriously. As you can see, you got the big flags. We actually send these big flags out to high schools for Friday night lights, or colleges on game days on Saturday. We give out regular flags to VFWs and American Legions and schools. We love it. So anyway, we wanted to also really lean into this patriotic spirit. And so if you write 5 apps, we call them certificates, right? Because we're a fraternal company. I don't care if they're open enrollment. I don't care if they're GI. You just write 5 and send them in to me. I'm going to send you a beautiful 3x5 flag. It's in this very pretty box. It's actually over my shoulder. Maybe you can just barely see it sitting on the ground over there. You'll get one of those. You can fly it yourself. You can present it to a veteran or a VFW or your local school. It's good karma. Everybody feels good. Nobody's going to reject a brand new American flag. You write a few more, as you can see, and I'll actually send you a nice flag and stand, and even more, I'll give you some money to the company store so you can get some WoodmenLife swag for you and your friends. So last slide here, and then we can turn it over to questions. But look, I know I've said it about 4 times. I apologize. There's a lot of great carriers, right? A lot of great carriers offering Supp. There's some great competitive rates, commission. I think where we potentially, if you see value with WoodmenLife, where we fit, as you can see, table stakes are all the things we talked about, but it's that Main Street, not Wall Street. It's US based. It's not for profit. It's giving back to the communities we all live in. That's a big deal. Some people aren't going to worry about that, right? Everybody's different. That's why Baskin Robbins has 31 flavors. We all like something different. But you are going to have consumers and clients that are going to feel good about this. You know what? I don't want to, send this money to a nameless ivory tower, a stock company that, the CEO is making 40 million bonuses. I want to send my money, even if it's $5 or $10 a month more, to an organization that's going to give back into my communities, as well as I get some member benefits and extras, some of those things we talked about. So that's where I think we win. Again, I'm biased, but I really do. I love being part of this company the last 2 years, being a part of a fraternal company. I think now more than ever in our country, being so divided, this is the type of company we need to bring people together where we're all trying to give back. It's patriotism. It's helping our fellow man and woman. It's just a feel-good story. So good product, good story, and I hope you agree. We've got something cooking here. I'll take
Absolutely.
a breath, Adrian.
Yeah.
Any questions we have for the groups for
Yeah,
the group?
absolutely. I don't have any questions right now, but I mean, I've just been zoned in listening. You did a fantastic job talking about Woodmen. Definitely feel the passion there for it. Brokers, if you do have any questions for Lance, please put them in here. I think a lot of people love when I host these because I have a lot of questions myself. So as I know sometimes there's a lag, so as people are typing in questions, I'm going to ask a few. And so I am the digital marketer here at Eldercare. So I help agents market themselves, creating marketing pieces and things like that. So does Woodmen have any marketing materials agents can use?
We do. We've actually partnered, with well, Eldercare. Your marketing arm. With Integrity. They've got a number of pieces,
Mhm.
fillable type pieces, postcards, as well as if you go to SPA, Sales Professional Access, you have the opportunity to do those similar postcards that Mutual of Omaha has, where you can put in the rate, you can put in your zip code, you can print a number of those. Those are free of charge. So you do have some options and some fillable, either digital or print pieces, if you will.
Awesome. I love when carriers make that easy for agents to use. And obviously Woodman, to sell the product, you just tell the story, right? And it sells itself. But as an agent, you still have to get in front of people. So um, I would definitely set that goal for at least what was it, 5 apps by September?
Yes, yes.
To get that flag. And so if you need help getting marketing pieces, if you're doing business with Eldercare, we give you access to free access. Let me put
Yeah.
that plug in there to turning 65 data. So if you need help pulling these pieces, customizing them to you, Eldercare is here to help you. And we had one question about if you offer a Pearl, which I don't, there's not a lot of Medicare supplement carriers that do that, but do you offer a link or a plug-in tool for agents' websites where people can enroll themselves and they still get paid?
We do not at this point. That's actually very interesting, and it might be something we need to consider. But no, as of right now, we do not.
Okay. I mean, I will put the plug-in if you are doing business with us. We offer a CSG plug-in tool. So I know
Mm,
agents can write the apps on CSG, which you talked about, but we also offer a plug-in tool where agents can put this HTML code on their website to where people can run quotes. And you can just set it for Woodman if you wanted to just have a Woodman quoter on your website. It's just
nice.
if they were interested in enrolling, you would have to tell them, to fill out the form or contact you.
Sure, you bet.
I don't see any further questions coming through. Lance, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about Woodman. Hopefully this has created a lot of light bulb moments for everyone. And we look forward to having you at the conference. And I think there's a few people on here that you'll get to meet them in person. So I'm so excited about that.
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yes, yes, it is. It'll be fun. Educational, but fun.
Yes, amen.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time this morning. I hope you have a great rest of your week and we will see you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.